Assalamu alaikum. This is Pratusha Burwa welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus urges Maldives to consider regularization of undocumented Bangladeshis and recruit more workforce from Bangladesh. Measures to be taken against real culprits involved in Pilkhana killings, says Home Advisor as National Martyred Army Day observed for the first time. Advisor of Ministries for Information and Broadcasting and Post Telecommunications at ICT Nahid Islam resigns. Former Minister and BNP Vice Chairman Abdullah Al-Noman passes away. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus expresses profound sorrow, extending deepest condolence to bereaved families. United Nations Security Council adopts U.S. drafted resolution on third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And ICC Champions Trophy clash between Australia and South Africa abandoned due to rain at Rawalpindi. Viewers, those were the headlines. Are moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus urged Maldives to consider regularization of the undocumented Bangladeshi expatriates living in the country and to recruit more workforce from Bangladesh. The Chief Advisor conveyed this to High Commissioner of Maldives, Tunin Rashid, when she called on him at the State Guest House Jomuna in the capital today. The High Commissioner conveyed thanks to the Chief Advisor, informing that Maldivian students are currently studying in different educational institutions in Bangladesh, especially in medical education. The Chief Advisor said that Bangladesh is ready to welcome more students from Maldives. Professor Yunus hoped that during her stay in Bangladesh, the relationship between the two countries would be strengthened further. High Commissioner Shongbad Rashid mentioned that the trade relations between Bangladesh and the Maldives have been growing in the recent months. She said some Bangladeshi companies had set up businesses in the Maldives and that the number of Bangladeshi tourists in the Maldives grew by 17.5% in the last year. The envoy thanked the Chief Advisor for his role in campaign for mitigating the impact of the climate change. Today is the 25th February, the National Martyred Army Day. On February 25-26 in 2009, a mysterious mutiny was taking place at the then BDR headquarters in Pilkhana of Dhaka, brutally killing 57 army officers, including Director General of the BDR Major General Shakil Ahmed. A total of 74 bodies were recovered at that time. Chief Advisor Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus issued a message marking the National Martyred Army Day. In his message, the Chief Advisor said the interim government has decided to observe the day as National Martyred Army Day every year. He remembered the valiant sons of the soil with deep sorrow and respect to the martyred army officers. The Chief Advisor extended sympathy to the members of the bereaved families. He said Bangladesh as a state is bound to ensure justice for these killings and the government is working on it. Attorney General Muhammad Asaduzaman said Pilkhana killings were carried out as part of conspiracies to ensure a one league in power for materializing hegemony on Bangladesh. He said it was not a mutiny, rather a planned killings. On December 24 last year, the government formed a 7-member commission led by ALM Fazlur Rahman to reinvestigate the Pilkhana killings. The commission was given 90 days' time in this regard. Marking the National Martyred Army Day, tributes were paid at Bonani Military Graveyard on behalf of the President and the Chief Advisor today. In addition, Home Advisor Lieutenant General retired Mohammad Jahangir Alam Chaudhry, chiefs of 3 services and members of the martyred families also paid homage. At that time, the Home Advisor said measures will be taken against the real culprits involved in the Pilkhana killings as per the investigation report of the inquiry commissions. Chiefs of 3 services, Alwas Seniors, Secretary of the Public Security Division of the Home Ministry, BGB RAB Ganu Adhikar Parishad President Nurul Haq Noor and member of the martyr families also paid homage. After paying homage to the martyrs of the Pilkhana carnage, BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir said, Fascist Sheikh Hasina carried out the carnage to hamper the security of the country. On this day in 2009, as many as 57 army officers were brutally killed in the then BDR headquarters in Dhaka. As many as 17 civilians were also killed in the mutiny. 16 years ago, inhuman torture was inflicted upon the family members of army officers and the then BDR headquarters in Pilkhana. For all these years, they couldn't voice their sorrow. Instead, they faced harassment at every step. The unbearable memories of those days still haunt them. On 25th of February in 2009, several hundred BDR men killed 74 people, including 57 army officers. Recalling the day, deceased Major Tanvir Haider Noor's wife, Tasnuma Maha, said that on that day, BDR members also attacked the residence of army officers living in Pilkhana. They captured the family members of army officers and conducted inhumane torture. She also said some of the BDR members were speaking in Hindi. Martyred Major Tanvir's wife believes that this incident was not a mutiny but a planned massacre. Tasnuma Maha also shared her struggles of life with 2 sons after losing her husband. She emphasized the need for a proper investigation to uncover the truth of the killings and ensure justice for the real perpetrators. Army Chief General Waqar-e-Zaman said, no army personnel stalked the Pilkhana killings, but the then BDR members did it. He said the commission will investigate if any political leaders and foreign powers were involved in the killings. The army chief was speaking at a function at the Raater Helmet Hall in the capital today, marking the National Martyred Army Day. General Waqar-e-Zaman called for leaving behind differences to ensure peace in the country.
এই বর্বরতা কোনো সেনা সদস্য করেনি, সম্পূর্ণটাই তদানীন্তন বিজিবি সদস্য দ্বারা সংঘটিত। এখানে কোনো রাজনৈতিক নেতৃবৃন্দ এর মধ্যে উপস্থিত ছিল কিনা, ইনভলভ ছিল কিনা, বাইরের কোনো শক্তি এর মধ্যে ইনভলভ ছিল কিনা, সেটার জন্য কমিশন করা হয়েছে। আইন শৃঙ্খলা পরিস্থিতি খারাপের পিছনে কিছু কারণ আছে। প্রথম কারণটা হচ্ছে যে আমরা নিজেরা হানাহানির মধ্যে ব্যস্ত, একজন আরেকজনের বিরুদ্ধে বিষোদ্গারে ব্যস্ত। এটা একটা চমৎকার সুযোগ অপরাধীদের জন্য। আমরা নিজেরা ভেদাভেদ সৃষ্টি না করি, আমরা নিজেরা ইউনাইটেড থাকি। আমাদের মধ্যে যদি কোনো সমস্যা থেকে থাকে, কোনো ব্যত্যয় থেকে থাকে, কোনো গ্রিভান্সেস থেকে থাকে, সেটা আমরা আলোচনার মাধ্যমে সমাধান করব।
People from different sections of the society, including military and civil arena, were present at the function. Chattogram District Administration has organized a discussion meeting on the occasion of National Martyred Army Day at City Circuit House in the afternoon. Deputy Commissioner Farida Khanum presided over, while Additional Divisional Commissioner Muhammad Anwar Pasha chaired as the chief guest. Officials from various government departments also delivered speeches. The speakers condemned the killing of army officers and soldiers in the BDR mutiny. The interim government's advisor of the Ministries for Information and Broadcasting and Post Telecommunications and ICT, M. Nahid Islam, resigned from his post today. He submitted his resign letter to Chief Advisor Professor Mahmoud Yunus. Speaking at a press conference at the State Guest House Jomuna hours after his resignation, Nahid Islam justified his decision, citing the necessity of being directly involved with people. At the same time, Nahid Islam resigned from all the government committees. He said,
আমি প্রধান উপদেষ্টা বরাবর আমার পদত্যাগপত্র জমা দিয়েছি। আমার যেই দুটি মন্ত্রণালয় ছিল, তথ্য ও সম্প্রচার এবং ডাক, টেলিযোগাযোগ এবং তথ্য প্রযুক্তি, দুইটি মন্ত্রণালয়ের দায়িত্ব থেকে আমি ইস্তফা দিয়েছি। এছাড়াও এই জুলাই ফাউন্ডেশন, জুলাই শহীদ স্মৃতি ফাউন্ডেশন সহ সরকারের যেই সকল কমিটিতে আমি ছিলাম, এই সকল কমিটি থেকে আমি সাথে সাথে একই সাথে ইস্তফা আমার হচ্ছে। দেশের বর্তমান যে পরিস্থিতি, সেই পরিস্থিতিতে একটি রাজনৈতিক শক্তির উত্থানের জন্য আমার রাজপথে থাকা প্রয়োজন, ছাত্র জনতার কাতারে থাকা প্রয়োজন, এবং আমরা যে গণতান্ত্রিক পরিবর্তনের আকাঙ্ক্ষা করি, সেই আকাঙ্ক্ষার জন্য আমার যে গণ অভ্যুত্থানে যে ছাত্র জনতা অংশগ্রহণ করেছে, সেই শক্তিকে সংহত করতে আমি মনে করেছি যে আমার সরকারের থেকে, আমার সরকারের বাইরে রাজপথে আমার ভূমিকা বেশি হবে, এবং আমার বাইরে যারা আমাদের সহযোদ্ধা রয়েছেন তারাও এটি চান, এবং সেই প্রেক্ষিতে আমি মূলত আজকে পদত্যাগপত্র জমা দিয়েছি।
Former Minister, noted Labour leader and BNP Vice Chairman Abdullah Al Numan passed away today at the age of 82. He breathed his last at the residence in the capital at around 6 a.m. His family members rushed him to a hospital where on-duty doctors confirmed his death. His Namazi Janaza was held in front of the BNP Central Office at Noya Bolton in the capital after Asr prayer today. His second Namazi Janaza will be held at the Jamiatul Falah National Mosque in Chattogram after Juma prayer, and the third prayer at the Gohira High School ground of his village home in Raujan Upazila after Asr prayer on February 28. Later, he will be laid to eternal rest in the family graveyard at Gohira. BNP Acting Chairman Tariq Rahman and Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir expressed their deep condolence on his death. In a condolence message, Chief Advisor Professor Mahmoud Yunus expressed profound sorrow over the death of the valiant freedom fighter Abdullah Al Numan. Professor Yunus prayed for his salvation of his soul and extended deepest condolence to his bereaved family. Abdullah Al Numan held various ministerial positions and remained a dedicated leader in BNP throughout his political career. He is survived by his wife, one son and one daughter, along with numerous relatives, colleagues and admirers to mourn his death. Now, international news. The United Nations Security Council adopted a U.S. drafted resolution on the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine that takes a neutral position on the conflict as U.S. President Donald Trump seeks to broker peace. The short resolution reflects Trump's upending of U.S. policy on Ukraine after taking office last month and his more conciliatory stance towards Russia. Russia's UN Ambassador Vasily Nebenza acknowledged constructive changes in the U.S. position on the conflict. He told the Council the resolution was not an ideal one, but a starting point for future efforts towards peaceful settlement. The 15-member UN Security Council had been deadlocked throughout the war and unable to take any action because Russia holds a veto. The resolution mourns the loss of life in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, reiterates that UN's purpose is to maintain international peace and security and peacefully settle disputes, and urges a swift end to the conflict and a lasting peace. The Security Council adopted the U.S. resolution with 10 votes in favor, while France, Britain, Denmark, Greece and Slovenia abstained. Russia voted in favor after failing to amend it and vetoing European bids to add language supporting Ukraine. Hamas says talks with Israel about further steps in the Gaza ceasefire deal are conditional on Palestinian prisoners being freed as agreed. Israel said on Sunday it was delaying the release of more than 600 Palestinians in return of 6 living and 4 dead hostages who had been freed, accusing Hamas of repeated violations, including humiliating handover ceremonies. A senior Hamas official said the decision exposed the entire agreement to grave danger and called on mediators, especially the U.S., to pressure Israel. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres warned that the ceasefire was precarious and that a resumption of the hostilities must be avoided at all costs. He also called for the dignified release of all remaining hostages. On Saturday, the start of 6th and final week of the ceasefire deal's first phase, Hamas released 6 living Israeli hostages. Now to sports news. Cricket. The Champions Trophy Group B fixture between Australia and South Africa in Rawalpindi was abandoned without a ball being bowled after persistent rain kept the players away from the field. Light rain through the day left pools of water on the covers and the outfield, making the prospect of play impossible when the game was called off. South Africa topped the pool on net run rate from Australia, with both teams on 3 points after winning their opening fixtures against Afghanistan and England respectively. That's all from the newsroom. To end the news, our recap of the headlines. Chief Advisor Professor Mohammad Yunus